Should you buy your own home or an investment property? This is a question I get asked all of the time, and imagine having your questions answered on a weekly basis by a multi-millionaire property investor. Well, that's exactly what happens on my channel. So if you are new, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, and leave me any comments or questions below because I will answer them on next week's videos. So let's get into it. Should you buy a home or an investment property first? And in my expert opinion, you should be buying an investment property first. And I'm going to share exactly why I feel you should. It's something that I did in my early 20s, and I've now been investing in property for over 20 years. I've made some mistakes. I've made lots of money, I've lost some money, and 20 years in, I now know exactly what works and what doesn't work. And here's the thing, a lot of people get hung up about getting on the property ladder. I've got to get my own house. I want to get something for my future. But when you buy your own house, you then have a mortgage. You then have dead money sitting in the property. It actually can be a liability rather than an asset because you are then responsible for paying that mortgage. And what happens if you get sick? What happens if you lose your job? What happens if you're not very good with money management and you spend money, make money, and then you spend money, and the more you make, the more you spend? So many people get caught up in this. But a lot of people want their own home because they feel it gives them some sort of credibility, some sort of stature. Here are the reasons why I believe you should start on the property investment ladder before you buy your own home. Now, number one, your money is going to work for you rather than you working for it. Because when you get a property investment, let's say a buy-to-let, you buy a property, you have a mortgage, a buy-to-let mortgage, your tenant is covering the cost of that mortgage, and you are left with cash flow at the end of each month. And you also then get capital appreciation. We live on a small island here in the UK. They're not making any more land, and the demand for property is through the roof. That's why we see rental prices going up. That's why we see prices doubling pretty much every 10 years in many parts of the UK. So you get the cash flow each month, and you also get the capital appreciation. So your money's going to work for you a lot better than if you tie your deposit up in a property where you've then got to pay the mortgage. Number two, you are actually going to become a professional property investor, a business owner. And by becoming a business owner, a property investor, you are going to obtain many skills. You're going to understand how to build a team. You're going to understand profit and loss, managed accounts. You are going to understand how to grow a team so you can do less and you can ultimately earn more. Most people, for their entire lives, they are stuck in a job that, number one, they hate, number two, doesn't pay them enough money, or number three, they earn a lot of money, they love their job, but they have no time for their family and for their loved ones. And we've been through a serious pandemic over the last couple of years, and many people that had a job, unfortunately, no longer have a job. They were sacked, their businesses have gone bankrupt. It's been a very difficult time. But if you have your own property business, you are safeguarding yourself against future pandemics, against being sick, losing your job, being made redundant. And I'm not saying having a job is bad, but if you are only relying on the income from your job to feed your lifestyle, then you could find it difficult and you might even have to work until you die. And nobody wants to do that. And people are waking up to the fact that their pension is not going to enable them to live when they go into retirement. Who the hell wants to retire on £100 or £150 a week in their pension? So by getting your own investment property, you're going to become a property investor. You are going to become a business owner. That's going to help you with more confidence, more conviction. You're actually taking life in your control, and you are then deciding on how much money you're going to earn, because income follows assets. The more investment properties you have, the more money that's going to come into your bank account. And when you've got a job or even some businesses, you are capped. You are capped. So number 3, multiple streams of property income. There are so many ways in which you can make money in property. It's phenomenal. You've got buy-to-lets, lease options, delayed completion. You've got rent-to-rent, serviced accommodation, HMO, houses in multiple occupancy. You can do flips, commercial conversions, land developments. So when you get that first buy-to-let investment into the portfolio, and then you get number 2, and then you get number 3, and then you get number 5, you're gonna be on fire. You're gonna be so confident. You're gonna actually start making money while you sleep, creating that passive income, and then naturally you're gonna wanna diversify into multiple streams of property income. So the quicker you get that first buy-to-let or that first investment property over the line, the quicker you're gonna move into multiple streams of property income. And that means, number 4, you can scale fast. When was the best time to plant a tree? Well, maybe 20 years ago. When is the next best time to plant a tree? Well, that will be today. And this is exactly the same when it comes to property investing. The quicker you start, the quicker you can scale. Many people, they buy their own home. They think they've cracked it. They've then got this liability and they end up just working for another 30, 40, 50 years just to pay the mortgage. Number 5, you can use other people's money. Yes, I'm not on drugs, I promise you. You can use other people's money to grow a multi-million pound property portfolio. Now, when I first heard this, I thought, oh my goodness, what a crock of crap. However, I kept an open mind. I got myself some advanced training. I've always had great mentors. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give this a go. And then I got my first investor, Dave from Basildon. He lent me £5,000 on a 10% fixed rate return. And then I got my second investor, 250,000, then another 100,000, then 60,000, then 150,000, then 750,000 from Phil and Karen in Liverpool. Fast forward to today, just in the last 6 years, I've personally raised over £9 million in joint venture funding, and my personal graduates, people that I train and mentor, have raised tens of millions of pounds collectively. So why wouldn't you want to use other people's money in order to get involved with investment properties? You can't do that if you're buying your own house. So you can scale using OPM. And what this will enable you to do, because you're going to probably own your investment properties in a limited company, you have to get the right tax advice, but you're going to be building up your accounts, your SA 302s, over the next couple of years. So what you could do is this: stay in your day job for the time being, because you'll be employed, you'll be earning a regular income, so that always helps when going and getting buy-to-let mortgages. And then over the next 2, 3, 4 years, build up your SA 302s, your personal accounts, where you're generating cash flow from property. Maybe you're making big lumps of cash. And then once you're at a certain level, you'll then be able to sack the boss, maybe come out your current business, and then you'll have the credibility from being a professional property investor to carry on getting those mortgages. And number 7, passive income. It's not going to be passive when you buy your own house. It's a liability. But ultimately, with an investment property, you're going to make money while you sleep. The tenant is going to pay for the mortgage. You will then cash flow 200, 500, hey, might even be 1,000 or 1,500 pounds per calendar month, depending on your strategy. And you've got the passive income. Does it take up a bit of time? Okay, it takes up a little bit of time. And I'll be covering all of this in one of my next videos. Is buy-to-lets truly passive? Yes and no. And I'll give you the pros and cons for everything. But doesn't matter. You've got money coming in to your bank account every single month being paid for by the tenants. And then what you can do, rather than just making do with a house for the sake of it, you can build up this amazing investment property portfolio that could be generating you 10, 20, 30, 40,000 pounds per month in passive income. Look at Hadjit, one of my personal graduates. She's now making over £300,000 a year net profit from a property investment portfolio. So when you're building up, rather than settling just for a normal house or something you can only just about afford and you've got to tie up all of this money in the 25% deposit, why not be more patient, build up passive income, and then at some point in the future, go and get your dream home. Go and get your dream home. Certainly here in the UK, borrowing is very cheap for your own residential mortgages, for sure. You get great capital appreciation. So I'm all for buying your own house. But if it was buy my own house versus my first investment property, I would definitely go for the investment property first, scale a portfolio, hit that 5, 10, 20, 30, 40K a month, and then use that money to go and buy your dream home so you never have to worry about money ever again. I hope you found this really useful. It's a question that I get asked all the time. I'm always answering questions here on my YouTube channel, so leave me a comment below. Ask me any question you like and I'll give you a special shout out in one of my up and coming videos. If you still haven't subscribed, hit subscribe now, smash the like button. If I can do it, you can do it, and I'll see you in my next video.